Welcome back to the Corporate Sister TV. I'm Solange Lopes, and I'm a fellow working woman, mama, and the founder of the Corporate Sister website and brand. In today's video, I'm chatting about what it means to lead authentically as a woman at work. There's been lots and lots of talks about leadership for women. Lots of training programs, mentoring programs, opportunities, and advice around leadership as women and how to best lead as women in the workplace. There's been a lot of progress around it as well, and we're all excited to see what the future holds for women's leadership. However, one thing that hasn't been often discussed, in my opinion, is what it means to authentically lead as working women and moms. Most often, leadership has been modeled after the patriarchy, after more masculine styles and traits of leadership. And it has been accepted that women not only conform to this patriarchal model of leadership, but emulate it in a way that makes them quote unquote valid or authentic as leaders, because in our society, leadership is most often recognized as male. Unfortunately, what often happens is that in order to feel like a leader and to act as a leader and be a true authentic leader, one has to see themselves as a leader. And unfortunately, because of this inaccurate image of leadership that's been shared and perpetrated over time, many, if not most women, have not really had this opportunity to really feel like leaders in their own authentic, legitimate way. If anything, many of us feel like in order to be validated as leaders, we have to, quote unquote, act like men. We have to adopt a more masculine, a more patriarchal type of leadership, which often does not align with our values, our principles, and even our purpose, both in our careers and in our lives. So again, what then does it mean to lead authentically as a woman at work? This is a question so many of us have been pondering, and here are 3 pieces of insight from my own experience and that of other women that may lead us to answering this question for ourselves. First of all, it's important for us to revisit our foundational beliefs about leadership, because so many of us have been conditioned to view and see leadership as patriarchal and fundamentally male. Many of us have not had the opportunity to really think about what leadership means to us. What does it mean to lead myself? What does it mean to be a leader in my own life, in my own career, even in my own relationships and in my own hobbies? And as a result, many of us have been emulating this style of leadership that may not correspond to who we are and what we value in life. So let me ask you, what are your beliefs about leadership? What have you been conditioned to believe and act upon? And are those beliefs really aligned with who you are in this season of your life and your career? Secondly, I would like us to take the opportunity to revisit the foundations of leadership in the organizations and the institutions in which we work in. Leadership is at its core a system. It's been a patriarchal and mostly masculine system for the longest time. And due to this foundational system, most of the policies and procedures around leadership do not necessarily align with women in leadership. This is the reason why so many leadership trainings and programs do not really work and do not end up having the results that are expected. In order for these programs and trainings to work, in order for these leadership incentives and initiatives to work, they have to be based on a foundation that allows working women to see themselves as leaders and for everyone else to perceive women as leaders as well. So as we work and evolve in our own organizations and institutions, I invite all of us to revisit the foundations of leadership in these places and spaces in which we evolve. Are these foundations of leadership still based on a patriarchal, more traditional model? And do they need some updating? some healing even to be more adapted to more inclusive leadership that includes women leaders as well. These are questions that are worth asking and worth exploring in the places and spaces in which we work and evolve in order to create and recreate environments and spaces that are more inclusive and more open to women's leadership. Last but not least, after revisiting the foundations of leadership in our organizations and institutions and revisiting our own beliefs about leadership, let's get to action and let's actually redefine and implement what leadership means to us. Does it mean adopting a more collaborative, a more nurturing, a more process-oriented, maybe based approach in the environments and the spaces that we work in and evolve in? Does it mean implementing different types of initiatives that lead to a different type of leadership? What does it mean, and how can we turn this meaning into concrete actions in and outside of the workplace? These are the 3 pieces of insight that I wanted to bring to your attention and invite all of us to really think about this as a way to continue the discussion about women's leadership and enrich it with the redefining and the recreation of a foundation of leadership that is more diverse, that is more inclusive, and that takes into account what leadership means for working women and moms in the workplace. Please let me know your thoughts on this. Email us at corporate@thecorporatesister.com and let's continue the conversation. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video.